big kind of clank and a crunch. And then I sort of looked, and in front of the car was a 6-pack of White Claw seltzer that had fallen off a car that had sped by, exploded. Some of the cans were shooting seltzer out of the side, and one was tucked underneath the front valve car. I had to get down on the ground and lay down and pull it out. There's this weird booze related car things. It's like somebody, I didn't even see the car, I just heard it. Like somebody sped by and an unopened 6-pack of White Claw just fell out of their car, landed right in front of my car, sent cans everywhere and under my car, and I had to fish them out because I was going to run over them.
Good thing you're not in recovery.
Yeah, I know.
Was there one can we're salvaging?
I salvaged.
He shotgunned it because it was already spraying.
Salvaged 4.
All right.
Out of the 6. 2 of them had pinholes. All right. Also, in other news, Drew was in here talking to me all about his Peter Luger situation.
The steak place?
Yeah. So there was a shooting at Peter Luger's steakhouse.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah. I don't know. We could probably find the story somewhere there in Max Spanner. But I talked to him earlier in the day. He's like, we're going to Peter Luger's. We're so excited about going to Peter Luger's. And then when I talked to him the next day, there was a shooting out front of, but into, Drew was at Peter Luger's with his daughter's boyfriend, and his wife, and they had fired, I think, 2 shots. They hit 2 customers that were sort of sitting outside.
When did this happen? I've not heard about this.
It's weird. I don't know if it seems like with news, it's like there's only some news news cares about anymore.
The New York Post would have
didn't have a good strong theme one way or the other. I mean, it was young black guy who was career criminal, got into it with another guy and just started shooting.
This is Thursday, a week ago.
This is
see the New York Post headline. I knew we could count on them. What sparked bloody beef outside Peter Luger's?
Oh, there you go.
Don't do that.
Yeah. So, and as to hear Drew tell it, they were going to sit outside where the people in the seats at the table where the people were shot, but he wanted to go indoors because everyone's so tired of eating outdoors.
Right, on the sidewalk.
What used to be a treat, now people have PTSD from, and they want to go indoors now. So the cops rolled up on it immediately. I think the cops were there because there was some sort of Black Lives Matter event there, and the cops just showed up for that. So the cops were there within 2 minutes, and I don't think anyone died, but he said 2 people got shot.
I can give you the gist of what happened if you want. This kid, Archies Somerville, 24 years old, allegedly opened fire. 2 innocent bystanders dining outside. So it says the New York Post, the mayhem unfolded while Somerville had 5 open warrants in North Carolina, where cops warned on Facebook in February that he should be considered armed and dangerous. He was among 11 people celebrating a birthday at Luger's when he began arguing with 2 women, or with some women who weren't at the party. He got so nasty, a male cousin and 2 other men hauled him inside, but instead of cooling off, Somerville kept arguing, and the other men finally gave up and headed back, away from him. That's when Somerville allegedly whipped out a silver .38 caliber revolver, fired 3 rounds at them around 9:45. None of Somerville's intended targets were hit, but 2 men who were dining outside were struck.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, the, AR-15 buyback is not going to work for Somerville in his pistol.
Talk about a Final Destination situation. There was a 30-year-old tourist who was shot near his spine, and a 57-year-old man from Queens who was shot in the gut.
I don't know how these guys with their 5 priors or their warrants and everything somehow are going to parties in New York, but we got
high profile.
I said to Drew, I'll say it to you, the story where the wife is poisoning the husband and collecting the insurance, I don't like it, but that's all under one roof. The parts where you're just sort of shooting randomly.
You're a menace.
Outside. Those are the scariest people to me.
Yeah. I'm just sort of going through this. It says he seemed to be very, very drunk. And there was a protest or something a few blocks away, so the cops were there like right away.
Yes, that's what Drew said. There was a protest, and so the cops were Johnny on the spot. All right, so let's see. I got an article here. We got to find. Did we find some German food to eat? We're devastated.
Well, it's Wisconsin. Of course, you're going to find German food.
I thought Mike found a place.
Mike found a place on the same block as the hotel. Has goulash and everything else.
Great.
Doesn't open until 4 on Saturday with the early show. It's just we gotta do a lunch. We gotta do a lunch thing. So we're gonna have to keep you posted on that. Max Bada, did you find something from yesterday?
The caller from yesterday, Kate, she recommended a place. I'm checking to see how far it is from.
Lots of protein.
Please.
Her backyard for veal sausage?
Yeah, that'd be nice. All right.
I think this is the same place she just recommended.
Oh, no.
Heartbreaker.
God.
Oh, because when I was lamenting to Chris, I was like, the place we got all pumped up about had Czechoslovakian goulash. I'm in.
Damn.
Not open. We need a place open earlier. And then Chris went, oh, well, that's all right, because the ball puller recommended a place that's just as close. So close, it's the same goddamn place.
What's weird is that Monday through Friday, they're open 11 a.m. Saturday, they open at 4.
Oh.
What gives?
What gives?
Can't you have someone run it over in between shows, or that'll never work?
The whole, I don't know if you guys are wired like me. When I go out to eat, I just want to enjoy.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Scarf it down.
Well, I also want to know there's a nap at the end of it.
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking about
because you gotta perform 2 shows, right? So then you get like the full belly.
Yeah.
Then it becomes you're like,
Back on
they
stage!
do that move. They go, you want another beer? And you're like, I want one, but if I can get it at 2,
Yeah, that makes sense.
then I'll
I get it.
catch the nap. Matt.
So just a quick update. We have made contact with your beloved goulash place, and though they normally open at 4, they would say they'd open at 3:30 for the Ace Man.
They can do better.
Tell them that's a C-list star treatment. We're looking for a little B+ star treatment.
And I'm sorry, but you know how they say, like, well, you're an LA 4, but you're a Wisconsin 10? Look, for Appleton,
come on,
they're not going to do any better.
Yeah, Clooney's not coming in Sunday.
I have family there, trust me.
We may also have another option. It doesn't look like they've got the goulash, but they do have some schnitzel and stuff, and it's open more lunchtime-y kind of hours. It's more of like a pub, brewery kind of place, but
yeah, we'll work on it. But your clock's ticking because this is all we do.
That's why he's going to Apple.
It's all super early flights.
Yeah.
It's all connecting flights. It's all shows and green rooms and everything. And then there's the German food.
Speaking of which, not too late to change to a red eye tonight. Get there at like 8 in the morning, catch a little nap, and then get some lunch.
Thank you for your input, Brian. All right.
Just so we don't go through this, we don't want to
to
go through this again for Kansas City. Is my mother bringing you barbecue or isn't she? Or do you just want me to tell you which Jack stack to go to?
Yeah, where to go in Kansas City. Yeah, that's going to be at the Arvest Bank Theater, September 11th.
Used to be the Midland.
What is the chain of barbecue in KC that when Drew and I saw you back there all those years ago, or you saw us?
Was it?
They kept talking. People kept talking about it. It was definitely a chain.
Was it Jack Stack, Oklahoma Joe's, or Zarda?
Oh, I think it was Oklahoma.
Yeah,
the
they're
famous
very
one.
good. I mean, it's good.
Wait a minute. Oklahoma Joe's is the Z-Boy sandwich?
Yes.
Oh, it wasn't Oklahoma
Okay.
Joe's because that's awesome.
I bet you it was Jack Stack.
Have you guys had a Z-Boy?
I have.
God damn.
Z-Man.
The Z-Man.
It is.
Z-Boy.
When
The sliders of the Z-Boy.
my dad and I flew back for my mom's birthday one year, and we all went to Oklahoma Joe's, and and then we went for cider donuts and wine tastings. Yeah, look at that thing.
Oh.
Two giant
Holy
onion
Christ.
rings.
Is that brisket?
slathered-
Let me say this, Permantes. You fucking hang your head and you bow in front of that Z-Man, because that is an awesome sandwich. All right, Dawson, you have that article out of Chicago. This is another thing that's on my mind because it drives Drew completely and utterly insane. But it's also something we need to kind of worry about as we move forward with our society, which is Drew says your doctor needs to be able to use their experience and then improvise. Like they need to go, here's what I think you need, or here's, and we're getting so we're getting into corporate medicine now, and these mandates are just going down. Okay. And this shit is happening now. So this is an article out of Chicago, I think.
From the Chicago Tribune. DuPage County judge orders Elmhurst Hospital to allow COVID-19 patient to receive controversial medication. A DuPage County judge on Monday ordered that Elmhurst Hospital to allow a comatose woman suffering from COVID-19 to receive a medication the Food and Drug Administration says could be unsafe. But the legal fight appears bound to escalate. Nerji Fipe, 68, of Elmhurst, has been in intensive care at the hospital since early April and is now on a ventilator, according to testimony at the court hearing. Her daughter, Deseretta Fipe, is pushing for her mother to receive a medication called ivermectin.
Right, which Drew's on, or had been on, and he's prescribed millions of times because it's pretty ubiquitous.
Normally used to treat diseases caused by parasitic worms. Deseretta Fipe said in an affidavit she learned about the drug in a news article while researching treatment options for her mother. The story, published in the Buffalo News, told of an 80-year-old woman in dire shape from COVID-19 who recovered after her family sued to get her ivermectin. The FDA, however, has cautioned against using ivermectin to treat patients suffering from the virus. It says some people have been hospitalized after self-medicating with a form of the drug intended for horses, and that large doses can be fatal.
Yeah, well, large doses of Tylenol can be fatal. These are self-administering from a horse because they can't get ivermectin.
And by the way, wasn't ketamine originally a horse tranquilizer?
Yes,
and now we use that for what? Seizures and antidepressants and everything else?
So ivermectin has been around for 40 years and is on the list of essential drugs, whatever that CDC essential drug. It's up there with hydroxychloroquine. It's like the point is you could argue it's not effective, and you could argue we don't have research that suggests it, but it's certainly not going to hurt anyone. And if someone is dying, let the fucking doctor try to save the person. Although you should take it early. I think in this article, the poor daughter wanted to get it to the mom early, and they said, no. Not going to do it. Sorry. Keep going.
Another federal agency, the National Institute of Health, has taken a more measured stance, saying that while the drug is well tolerated when used for its intended purposes, there isn't enough information to allow a recommendation for or against using it to treat COVID-19.
But if it's well tolerated, it's well tolerated.
Well, because it's, again, all you have to do is you don't need to be a doctor. If the stuff's ubiquitous, been around for 40 years, and it's been handed out all over the world times billions of doses, and there's people who have, it's like if somebody had lupus, then they would just be on hydroxychloroquine perpetually. So how dangerous could it be? But listen, if someone is dying, Brian got an experimental medication.
Never should have happened.
Well, what if they fought every ounce of, we don't have any studies. It's
Even more applicable is it wasn't experimental. It was off-label, right? It was meant for this thing, and they used it for my thing, and that's how medicine works.
That's exactly what this is. It's for something else, but maybe it's effective. So, sorry, go ahead.
Elmhurst Hospital's attorney, Joseph Monahan, said at the hearing, none of its doctors would agree to administer ivermectin for COVID-19.
So this is the scary part. None of the doctors would agree to do this for this dying
because
lady.
Who's going to sue them? What are they afraid of?
The FDA
is going to?
I don't know what's going on recently, but it's like there's this thing going on, which is we bring up something like ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine more famously. Everyone pushes back against it. Then people just reflectively go, I'm not going to do it. And then we start parenting. Well, but it comes to like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, and it's like we've talked about before with passing, like a network passing, like, somebody passed, right? I don't want to be the one that says yes.
Right. So, sorry, Dawson.
He argued, and an internal ethics panel concluded its use couldn't be justified. He argued that judges shouldn't overrule medical decisions. The court doesn't have the authority to order a medical corporation to use particular medications, particularly when it's an off-label use, particularly when the federal government has said it could be dangerous, he said.